Today I fucked up by sending a DTF to an old friend. I have been trying to stay in contact with old friends recently and picked up the habit of replying to their Instagram stories. I would ask about what they are doing and stuff. I come across this friend who posted a IG story of her meal. It was dumplings and a bowl of soup at a restaurant. Seeing the nice quality of the dumplings, I tried guessing where the place is. For some background information, I live in Singapore where we tend to abbreviate many words. One very common example that everyone knows is HDL, which means Hai Di Lao, a hotpot restaurant many people in Singapore love. So it was common to call restaurants in their abbreviations, Max, HDL, SLF, another hotpot place. So with that, I sent her DTF? I meant Din Tai Fung, which is a nice dumpling place. I replied to IG stories very quickly and sent it without a second thought. Few days later I get added into a group chat. The group chat contained my old friends' friends who I barely know. The first message sent was, "Do you know why you are here?" I replied IDK because I forgot about the DTF message. Then came the shitstorm of 4 people absolutely destroying me, calling me a douchebag who thinks he can just hit up old friend no biggie like they are always down to fuck. I told them my DTF meant Din Tai Fung, but they thought I was trying to lie my way out. I kept trying to convince them, showing them why I sent DTF. It was going nowhere and I couldn't find any way to back myself up because the only message was DTF and nothing else. Eventually they stopped and kicked me out of the group chat. They are probably off somewhere still talking shit while I just lost a good friend of mine all because of a fucking abbreviation. Too long did not read. I send DTF, or more commonly known as down to fuck, to an old friend from my previous school. Got dragged into a group chat as some intervention, and got berated for 45 minutes before being kicked out. I sure am glad I'm not like 14 anymore. I'm dead. They did a group chat intervention, lol. They called you into a group chat to try to shame you? LMAO, that's dorky as fuck. Are your friends vampires or something? They called a council about this. Reminds me of the time I replied, "Cool pic. Do you want to have sex?" But I also meant Din Tai Fung and nobody believed me. Nice dumplings, DTF? Today I fucked up by getting STD tested. This happened yesterday and I'm still a bit mentally scarred and need to voice this. So within the last year I moved to Europe from America. I am young and decently fit and the European ladies have seemed to like my American accent. I haven't been as diligent about protected sex as I should be, but before I moved here I had the entire panel of testing done, and I came out perfectly clean. So I have been a bit more loose with the protection, and the women I have slept with have been of similar mindset. Which brings us to the current situation. About 3-4 weeks ago, a girl came over for a weekend of fun while my roommate was away. Sexual chemistry was through the roof, as was libido. She lives in another country, so we had a short window of opportunity. Roughly 60-ish hours. In this time we had sex roughly 12-14 times. By the end of the weekend, my dick was thankful it was over. But, there was some lingering pain in my tip. Similar to that feeling other guys will know. When you come maybe before bed or something and don't pee right away, it's a special kind of sore. It felt like that, but when I was peeing. Okay, so no big deal. Until, it hurt pretty badly. My thought process is like, damn, I really overdid that, huh? So I have similar pain over the next couple days, but it's subsiding. However, because I just said a sexual PR, my mind is still very actively sexual, thus, I'm coming maybe twice a day, which is more than my normal average of 0.51. Fast forward to now, I came this weekend and while peeing again, it hurt. So I figure alright, time to get this checked out. I get sent to a specialist clinic and I go see them. My appointment was at 7 a.m. and because of public transit, it was an hour away. I leave my house at 6, get there by 7. And at about 7:30-ish I'm in the room. They ask me my problem, I give them this story, and then I ask for full panel. They say okay, great. Here's where the story turns sour. They bring me over to a corner of the room, and tell me to pull my pants down. This is weird for urinalysis, I think. Turns out, they don't do urinalysis, they swab you. And a swab, unlike the literal verb definition, is not exactly what happened. The lady, in her broken English, tells me to spread my dick hole. In absolute shock and fear, I ask, "Are you serious?" She tells me yes with no hesitation. Fuck me. So, like a good little slut I spread my hole. Which, in turn, was inserted pretty deeply into my penis. All I could feel was immense pain and severe nausea almost straight away, seeing as this was a childhood nightmare coming to life. Luckily, it's only a couple seconds, and she pulls it out. Thank fuck. Plastic crinkles. Another. Another? I asked in her native language I know very little of. Yes. This process happened for a total of 5 times. I walked out of that office defeated. 730 and I got my dickhole violated, and it hurt for hours after, and I stayed nauseous for another 2 hours. I also thought about this probably 600 times yesterday. And 100 times today. I don't have results yet, it feels much better today, and I will be promptly finding a doctor that does urinalysis for future reference. Too long did not read. Got referred to an STD specialist that doesn't do urinalysis, so I got medically sounded against my will 5 times. Edit 1. Some clarification and wording. 0.51 times on average means daily or every other day. Thought it was more self-explanatory than it is. Thank you everyone for your concerns and well wishes. I will have results Wednesday and will edit whether or not I am a lucky person or if many of your suspicions are confirmed. Lastly, I know the FU isn't exactly that I got tested, but that I was unprotected. I typically do use condoms, and of course I know better. I want to clarify that it has only been unprotected sex with 3 girls between tests. Not the safest number of 0, but certainly not like a new person every weekend. Admittedly stupid anyways, but hey, I'm human. Aren't we all? Gay guy here, I've had to be swabbed before, although never caught anything thankfully. Down the pee-hole definitely was the most unpleasant, although being rolled over to swab up my backside was very much undignified too. When she went to swab my throat, thankfully not the same swab, she said, "Open wide and keep your tongue out the way. But you know that already, the audacity." And I came out perfectly clean. So I have been a bit more loose with the protection. I feel like this was the key breakdown in your logic that led to the downward spiral. Chlamydia. Wrap it before you tap it, bro. Every time. Let this be a lesson for you. This being said, as a fellow human male, I'm sorry. Guys really should get tested more often. Girls should get tested even more than that. Some infections, for ladies, demonstrate less than 30% symptomatic at population level. Just because she says she's clean, doesn't make it so. You should never assume someone is good just because they're asymptomatic. Today I fucked up by showering with my husband at 8 months pregnant. Technically this happened yesterday, so it's a YIFU. Anyway, I had worked a long day where I was on my feet for most of it, and at nearly 8 months pregnant, this is quite a feat. I was exhausted by the time I came home. Everything was swollen and everything hurt. I'll spare the graphic details. My husband had been home for a few hours before me, mowed the lawn and was ready for a shower by the time I arrived. I wanted to jump in with him, do a quick body and face wash and hop out. The thought of taking a separate full shower made me want to fall asleep right then and there. So, I get in the shower, wet my face, start massaging in my face wash. As I am hogging all the water, I stand to the inside wall of the shower so my husband can come around and get some water as well. With my protruding belly, I can only get so close to the shower wall. In an attempt to go around my large pregnant ass, my husband loses his balance and in his words starts the rolling down the windows arm motions. He said he knew he had to grab onto something, but knew he couldn't grab me, as he didn't want me to go down with him, so he decides to go for the shower curtain rod, which promptly ripped off the wall as he was going straight down to the floor. As I am still facing away washing my face good and well, I hear a loud crash from behind me. Where I turn to see my fully naked husband laying on the floor still holding the shower curtain rod with the shower curtain pulled around him, looking like a very hairy 220 pounds turtle on its back. After he lets out a meek, ouch, and starts laughing, I lost my shit. I laughed for a solid hour straight at least. Any time I stopped I'd get a flashback image of him splayed out on his back and lose it all over again. Every time I got up to pee during the night, which was a lot, and saw our sad shower curtain hanging from 2 hooks on the wall now, the giggles would kick back in. And still today, any time we mention it I can't help but cry laughing. Today he is sore, but otherwise unharmed. I love my husband, but I think I've outgrown our joint shower days for a little while longer. Too long did not read. I accidentally knocked my husband out of the shower because I take up too much room with my large pregnant belly. Your husband is the man for taking it like a champ. Tears of joy. Thank you for preserving this memory on the internet. No, no, no. You haven't outgrown your joint shower days, you just need a bigger shower. Someday in the future when I buy a house I plan to design a huge shower for joint showers. I want the seats, shelves, at least 2 shower heads, and the ability to stretch my arms all the way out to the sides. So like 6 female by 6 female minimum. Knock down a wall and make a kick-ass shower, fam. You two deserve quality shared shower time. Like, you know, a little bit after having a baby. You're gonna wanna have some sexy time together. Showering can be great foreplay or even great sex time. Make your own kick-ass shower. Get on YouTube and figure it out. I thought this was gonna be a like, accidentally shitting on my husband because I'm pregnant thing or some shit. My large pregnant ass. You should go see a doctor about this. Pregnancies usually don't end up in your ass. This is the type of stuff that people don't talk about when married. Many years ago, my husband and I went through a rough patch. While trying to work through it, intimacy was important. We tried to shower often together. Which led to spicy showers. I recommend this. During one of those showers his ass went through the tile. Yes, we put a whole asshole in the tile, pun intended. I still laugh nearly 15 years later. And we are more careful. Once I was hiding in the bathroom for too long and didn't know how bad my foot had fallen asleep. I got off the toilet. Promptly hit the ground sideways while taking my shower curtain down and bouncing off the shelf in the bathroom, rolling on the floor laughing. I feel your husband's pain, but at least you guys can both laugh at the moment. Today I fucked up by making a room of children cry and sending my niece into mourning. My niece, who just turned 5 on Saturday, loves Rapunzel. Her mom asked me to help her set up a Tangled-themed birthday. Since I really adore my niece, we really went all out to make it the best party ever. We had purple streamers, a Tangled sheet cake, and had the cardboard cut out of a tower on the wall. For the cherry on top, my niece really wanted Rapunzel herself to come over. Alright, no problem. One of my friends has a pet gecko lizard thing who is pretty social, and she likes to dress up as a princess for TikTok, so I asked her if she would like to be our Rapunzel for the day. I figured my niece wouldn't know the difference between her crocodilian creature and the chameleon iguana whatever in the movie. She accepts and everything seems fine. Day of the party arrives, and the kids are shaking in anticipation to meet Rapunzel. My friend is set to arrive any moment now, but I get a call from her, telling me she can't make it because of an emergency and is now at the hospital. I get ready to face the room of excited kindergartners. My niece comes up to me and asks when Rapunzel is arriving. I kneel down to her and say, "Sweetie, Rapunzel can't come in today." My niece looks heartbroken and starts to cry and asks if Rapunzel didn't want to see her. I was like, "Oh no, she couldn't wait to see you." Rapunzel had an emergency and had to go to the hospital. I thought this would calm her down, but she started crying harder. She asks, why is she in the hospital? And without thinking I say the first thing that pops into my head. She got into a car crash on the way here. My niece asks if she could come after she's back from the hospital, and I say no. Then, she asks if we can visit her in the hospital and I say no. Then she asks, why? About 50 times until I hold her shoulder, look her dead in the eye, and say, "Sweetie, Rapunzel died." My niece has now stopped asking questions and has gone back to just crying. I admire my own stroke of genius and quick thinking to avert the crisis. After letting her mother know of the situation, I come out of the kitchen to let the kids know that Rapunzel wouldn't be coming, only to find most of the kids already sobbing and bawling on the floor. One little boy asks me if my niece is lying or if Rapunzel really is dead. I blink my eyes really fast like I'm holding back tears and say in my best choked up voice that it's true, Rapunzel really is dead. Niece's mom glares at me so hard and gives me a, "What the fuck did you do?" face. I figure the rest of the party will go on as normal. But despite my sister-in-law's attempts to fix my fuck-up, it dragged on like a funeral service. The kids cut the Rapunzel cake and played on the Rapunzel swing and somberly played the Rapunzel games. Some of the kids were still crying as their parents picked them up. My sil tried to tell everyone that I was lying, but most of the kids didn't believe her. My thought process was that if I came up with a good enough, unquestionable excuse for why Rapunzel couldn't come, the kids would be able to get over not having the princess there and be able to enjoy the party. Looking back, telling her that her favorite princess was dead probably wasn't the best move. My sil is mad at me now for ruining my niece's 5th birthday party. Last I heard, she moved all her Rapunzel toys, blankets, dolls, and plushies to the garage and she's still crying a lot. Too long did not read. After the fake Rapunzel wasn't able to make it to my niece's 5th birthday party, I told my niece that she had died in a car crash. The word got around, everyone started crying and the entire birthday party was ruined. Ayup, that's a fuck-up right there. Pure. Clean. Efficient. Ruthless. Simply ruthless, lol. My ma runs a childcare so I get it when the 50th Y hits the nerves, but dead. I'm dead. XD. You couldn't think of anything better? Like, she has to go save the kingdom from Mother Gothel, or something. OMG op, you traumatized those kids. That's a fuck up alright. Cold sweat smile. My man, a simple Rapunzel couldn't get out of the tower is all you had to say. This is why I took my 5-year-old and her friends bowling on their B-day. Less chance of anyone dying. Okay, now this is fascinating, I want to learn the thought process. Step 1. You had the idea of saying that she died in accident. I can see how you could have this idea. Step 2. You actually think that's a good idea. The part of your brain which is supposed to stop bad ideas doesn't stop it, and you actually do it. How does that happen? I'm fascinated. Winking face. Why would you ever say that to a child? OMG, those poor kids. Maybe you should just pretend you are mute when around children from now on and just do silent play and memory.